Hey, soul sister, what's up?
Nothing. How are you?
I'm good. I am shook though. Like,
What?
I am so shook
Yeah, me too.
from that interview with Oprah, the Queen, and Meghan Markle, the princess.
Yeah, that was an eye opener, honestly. I'm so proud of Meghan Markle and Harry and Prince Harry going on camera and really sharing their end of the story, like their side of the story. Like that takes guts and courage, and I'm just so proud of them for doing that. And it's just so interesting to see how pre-interview you and I are sitting here thinking that, oh, the royal family doesn't have control over the paparazzi and the stories that are being relayed in these newspapers and articles, whereas we see here that they do have the power and they were choosing not to protect Meg and not to protect Harry and not to protect their son.
Well, they were choosing in a way that was, she straight up needed she had mental health issues, you
Mm-hmm.
know. She was legit having suicidal thoughts, and I know what that feels like, and it is not a nice feeling. It is scary to say the least, right? And obviously with the background of mental health, like Harry works in mental health, he's had mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
Meghan knows that, okay, I should not be left alone when I'm straight up having these thoughts
Mm-hmm.
of self-harm, that I want to kill myself. This is not okay, and I need to get help, and I need help, and I should not be alone, which is the correct way to go about it. And she straight up was not given help because it would look bad.
And denied help.
So the fact that she could have probably killed herself, that doesn't look bad.
That is really appalling, to deny someone the help that she needs when she's in that situation and that state of mind. That is next level. And it just.
And let's talk about why she got to that place.
Mhm.
Like, why would a duchess, right, someone who supposedly has everything,
Mhm.
be having suicidal thoughts? Because of the way she was treated, not just by the press, which is what they said. If they were supported by the royal family, if they were supported by the palace, they wouldn't have stepped down. They just wanted help and support, and they weren't given that. Not only were they not given it, they were not allowed it. Her driving license was taken away from her passport, her ID, everything was taken from. Absolutely insane.
And it's just interesting how she also mentions that she advocates for like women's rights and speaking up and speaking your truth, where she was literally silenced. She was silent.
Yourself, exactly.
And that just goes to show, the mental trauma and the experience that they've been through to now have the courage to come to the forefront and really speak about these issues that were happening behind doors, right?
And what about the people beyond the doors that were perpetuating this? Not just magazines and tabloids that make money off this, but people like Piers Morgan, who just have the most horrible comments, the most snarky comments that they make about people, and that just consistently prove that they're on the wrong side of history.
Yeah. It just goes to show that this mentality that's coming from so-called individuals that are supposed to represent a society, like represent a country, and the ideology that they uphold, that their ideology it's ancient, it's not progressive, it's racist.
And the racism, can we talk about the racism? The fact that Archie,
how can you comment?
Her child, before he was born, there were discussions about his skin tone, which I would also really like to add to. I think you could add to as well. and I think we've talked about this before, about the whole colorism. And honestly, it's just anti-Blackness. It's the closer you are to being white, the prettier you are. Mm-hmm. The closer you are to being Black, the uglier you're seen, right? So you've had always had issues with the color of your skin. People have always, commented about it. People have always said stuff about it. And with me, I've had both ends of the stick. So I'm biracial, and I've had so many biases and issues around that, where I have legit straight out been told as a little girl that it would be hard for me to find a man because I'm mixed race, Gomti, as they call it, right? But at the same time, I was fair and I was pretty, so that works for me, right? So I have the genes and I have the genetics and the mixed blood, which supposedly that's what it shows up of my character and my background. But because from the outside I look white, then that goes for me. So I've seen both sides, and honestly, I was looked down at because of my darker African heritage. And that's what people are picking in Meghan. She's not even fully Black. Can you imagine if she was fully Black, or if she was darker, or if her children turned out to be darker? Like, can you just imagine?
But just a subject, like, that's a child in her womb. Like, she's pregnant.
But that's where it starts, though. That's how deeply inherent white supremacy is. That's how deeply rooted hate. That's how deep anti-Blackness goes. It does not matter the character of a person. It does not matter where that person is from and what their status is. At the end of the day, if they're Black, there's anti-Blackness, period.
They still uphold these ideologies, these racist ideologies. They still uphold the ideology of white supremacy, of, this stance that they take, that one race is superior than the other.
And to the point where they literally would not give him the title of prince. Exactly. This is the blood grandchild of the queen.
Exactly.
Great grandchild. Like, blood. Not even adopted. Not blood great grandchild. This is a direct bloodline. And that was mind blowing to me. Then they cut them off from their finances. Refused to give security, which was beforehand as well. For the prince. Can you imagine refusing to give security to the first biracial heir of England? That's insane.
Outlook that's coming directly from an institution like the royal family, from the firm, it's ancient and it needs to go. Like, it needs to be complete.
I honestly don't think the monarchy is going to be around for too long. Okay?
Yes, and that goes to show, like, honestly, for all governments that take and uphold a position of white supremacy, it's done. It's over. Your reign is over. It is time to acknowledge the multiculturalism that literally encompasses our beautiful world.
That's literally the basic necessity.
Literally basic.